Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam.
This product is brought to you by
Oh yeah, London Dawah.
Alaikum wa alaikum assalam.
Islam is the fastest growing religion across Europe and the world, at a time when Britain's church-going population is still falling. Peter Lane, 5 News, Leicester.
There are an estimated 1.3 billion Muslims worldwide, and most are not Arabs. Here in the United States, while the Muslim contingent numbers an estimated 7 to 8 million, it's growing rapidly. 20,000 new converts each year, 4 times as many women as men.
George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
A quarter of the estimated 6 million Muslims in the United States are converts.
I greet you with the Islamic greeting of peace, which is Assalamu alaikum. This is Arabic for peace be upon you. Basically, we're here today to go over briefly and quickly on how to become a Muslim. Let me repeat that: how to become a Muslim. I mean, to be honest with you, it's going to be the quickest, most easiest thing you're ever going to have to do in your life. It takes less than 60 seconds to become a Muslim, because all it takes is a sincere belief in the creator of humankind. Allah is the Arabic word for God. So Muslims will use the word Allah in reference to the creator of humankind. The same way in Spain, they don't use the word God for God, they use the word Dios for God. And in retrospect, all countries have their own word for God. I just want to stipulate once again that to become a Muslim means the belief in the creator of humankind. We call that creator Allah, meaning the one and only one creator of humankind. So let's begin. In order for you to become Muslim, as I said earlier, you have to have a sincere faith in the creator of humankind. And now the next step is to say a short sentence called a declaration of faith. Now this sentence can be said right here, right now, in less than 60 seconds. You don't need to go to the mosque. You don't need to say it in front of a congregation. You don't need to put an advert in the newspaper. And you don't need to phone a friend. You can say it right here, right now. Simple sentence called the declaration in faith. In Arabic, that is called the Shahada. Shahada in Arabic, meaning the declaration of faith. This Shahada is simply said in Arabic first: Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Now, that in English means, I bear witness that there is only one God, and I testify that Muhammad is his messenger. And after that, you're a Muslim. Simple as that. You are a Muslim. Now, I ask you, was that less than 60 seconds? In fact, I think it was less than 30 seconds. That's how quick it takes to become a Muslim. You just have to say a quick sentence, and that's it. That's it. Let me go back over that short sentence again, the declaration of faith, the Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Don't worry, I'm going to repeat it slowly later just to go back over it. But I just want to make clear that we're getting this, that it only takes that short sentence for you to say, for you to become a Muslim. So that means you can become a Muslim right now. You don't need a witness, because your witness is Allah, your creator. You don't need a crowd. You don't need acceptance. This short sentence is your declaration of faith. You're confident between you and your creator. You're telling him that you believe in him, that you want to worship him. You want a relationship with him. But just saying a short declaration of faith. And what do you think the word Muslim even means? The word Muslim means someone who submits themselves to the belief in the creator. But you also submit your love, your heart, your trust in that creator, God, Allah. This is what the word Muslim means. One who submits to the creator. The word Islam itself means peace and submission. You get peace by submitting yourself to the creator. by believing in the Creator. This is Islam. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except God. And the second part, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. That's right. You're testifying that Muhammad is just the messenger of God. Muslims don't worship Muhammad. Muhammad has no divine qualities. Muslims don't celebrate Muhammad's birthday. He is just a messenger of God. Just like all the other messengers of God that came before. Who? Adam. Who? Noah. Who? Jesus. Abraham. Moses. Muslims believe in all these messengers. Why? Because they all came with the same message, to worship the one creator of humankind. So I'm going to go over the Shahada, this declaration of faith, slowly now. Those of you who want to become Muslim right here, right now, it can be done. As I said, it's between you and God. Between you and that creator. So I'm going to say the Shahada slowly, in Arabic. And if you want to become Muslim, you can repeat after me. And then you're Muslim. And no one can ever tell you that you're not. Because you have submitted your belief, your faith to that creator by doing the first step that is required of you, which is acknowledging that he exists in the first place. Acknowledging he exists in the first place. Let's say the Shahada. Here we go. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. English, I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and I bear witness, I testify that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. You're a Muslim. You're a Muslim. If you believe that statement, you're a Muslim. That's it, you're done here. It begins. You're a Muslim. This is the first step. This is the first step. Why? Because you've acknowledged the existence of a creator. And out of all the people in the world that have come, that have gone, that have died, that are dying, that are not Muslim, He's chosen you to get to this point where you are now. He chose you. Allah chose you to be in a situation when you're listening to how to become a Muslim and taking that step to become a Muslim, and by doing so acknowledging that Allah exists. Also, Muslims believe that when you take your Shahada, when you shed your declaration of faith and you're taking your Shahada, Muslims believe that all your previous sins are forgiven. All your past bad deeds that you've done are completely wiped clean by Allah. You start a new slate. A new record of good and bad deeds starts the moment you become Muslim. And saying that, what better than a fresh start with a new faith? A simple declaration of faith. A new beginning. Allah loves you. He's there for you. If you can't wait to meet Him, He cannot wait to meet you in the hereafter. Because we're all going to die. Most of us are going to get sick, cancer, multiple sclerosis, diabetes. What, you think you can go through life avoiding this? Half the world's got cancer, Ebola, HIV. What, you think you can sit there confident that you're going to go through life and not get anything? You think you're going to be fit and healthy for the rest of your life? Life is just too short to sit around pondering on where your next pound is coming from, where your next dollar is coming from, your next rupee. Life is too short chasing women, chasing men, dating, sleeping around, making illegitimate children. Life's too short for that. Life is too short for trying to be a big brother wannabe or X Factor has been. Life's too short. Be inspirational to yourself. That when you look in the mirror, you say, that's somebody. That's somebody that what? That's somebody that knows their purpose in life. That is somebody who knows what direction they're going in. You need to gain control of your life. You need to gain control of the direction that you're going in. You need to stop believing in the system. because the system does not work. Get a job, get a career, or to go abroad, earn big money abroad. And in reality, when you get abroad, you find out there is no money in that country either. Why? Because you end up paying more tax than you even earn. You end up paying more tax than you're able to save. So even when you eventually go abroad and you change your peso for the pound, or your peso for the dollar, or your rupee for the pound, your naira for the pound, you find out you got no money. You're in a worse off situation even than the country that you just left. See, a lot of you think you're living in third world countries. You think you come from a third world country or worse off economic civilization. And when you come to the Western Hemisphere, you come to England, you come to America, France, you come down to these sides, you realize you're worse off. You're struggling to pay the rent because the rent is so high. The rent takes up half your salary. You're spending £500 a month minimum to live in a box in London. To live in a box. You're seeing people that don't even work, that are on benefits, claiming from the system, that are better off than you. And then you start recollecting being back home in your own country. You used to have time for your family. You used to have time to have fun, even though you're poor, even though you had nothing. And then you got those ones that think they're middle class, they're aiming to be rich, but yet they're in debt. They just got good credit, that's all they got. They just got good credit. Because you're living in an oxymoron type of society where those people who really struggle hard, that really have a good job helping people, they never prosper. Who prospers? Just look at society. Who prospers? The footballers. A footballer's going to earn £300,000 a week to kick a ball. A basketball player is going to earn millions and millions of pounds to throw a ball into a hoop. Are you serious? Are you really serious? When there's one guy in a hospital scrubbing the floors so people and patients and visitors don't contract MRSA virus, neurovirus, nurses, doctors, saving lives, but earning just above minimum wage. Where is the justice in the system that you're living in? Where is it? Show it to me. In this society, women that get undressed, that show their private parts in a newspaper or in Big Brother, in pornography, these are the ones that are glorified, that are recognized, get big money salary for getting nude. But yet the woman who wants to cover, the woman who wants to be pious and chaste and not sleep around, she becomes the one that is ostracized. She is told the one that she has been persecuted. She is the one that is told she is frigid. You have to start opening up your eyes. You have to stop realizing that you're being fed a culture, an ideology, a way of life that is not natural to your inclination as a human being. As a human being. The natural inclination of the human being is, first and foremost, to worship the one that created them. The natural inclination of the human being is to be just and fair to those around him. And it is that is lacking in this society that you are a part of, that your children are going to be a part of. And what are you handing down to your children? What are you going to hand down to them? Are you going to hand down to them the same lives that you were told? Go to work, go to school, get good education, get a job, and everything will be hunky-dory. You'll be rich. Is this what you're going to hand down to them? The same old filth and lies that you're regurgitating that was given to you by a system that didn't work for you, but yet you're going to hand it down to them. That's like throwing them into the ocean and they can't swim. They're going to drown. Just like half of us are drowning now. Half of society is depressed. Suicide is on the up and rising. Some of them don't know whether they want to be a man or they want to be a woman. You're living in a midst of confusion right now. And is this what you're going to hand down to your children? Or is it all going to stop now? Is it all going to stop now? You're going to start realizing that you need to be handing down the correct way of life. That first and foremost you should be following. And in turn, then passing the baton on to your siblings below you. The youth, this younger generation, your children, your babies that are going to come. All people do is run to other coping mechanisms if life goes wrong for them. If their marriage breaks down, if their relationship breaks down, they run to a coping mechanism. And it's those coping mechanisms that don't work. What is a coping mechanism? A coping mechanism is something that you run to in times of adversity. It's somewhere you go, or someone you go to, or something materialistic that you run to deal with your problems. For instance, alcoholics, their coping mechanism is alcohol, whiskey, rum, vodka, you name it. That's their coping mechanism. When it all goes Pete Tong and everything goes wrong and it's on like Donkey Kong, they run to alcohol. That's what they do. They look for a whiskey chaser. That's what they do. They get drunk. That's what they do to forget. That's their coping mechanism, alcohol. Same way as drug addicts. What do? They run to crack. They run to heroin. This is their coping mechanism for life, because they don't want to deal with the realities. Other people, they'll run to faith. They'll run to Christianity. Why? Because such faiths like Christianity are emotionally driven. You go there, you sing, you dance, you cheer. This is emotion. This isn't belief, this isn't knowledge. You're singing and dancing. You're singing and... What, do you think God wanted that for you? To worship and sing and dance? Did Jesus sing and dance? Singing, coping mechanism. Music, a coping mechanism. It's just their coping mechanism when something goes wrong. But Islam is not a coping mechanism. It's a way of life. You don't just run to it in bad times. You have to be a part of it in good times as well. For example, the rich person has to pray 5 times a day, even when he's got an abundance of money. The rich person still has to fast from sunrise to sunset during the Islamic month of Ramadan. Even a rich person has to go on the pilgrimage to Mecca. Islam, not a religion. It's a way of life. A way of life. Incorporated with the belief in only one God. No one's expecting you that once you become Muslim to start praying 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan, book your ticket on the first plane to go to Mecca, giving out all your wealth to poor and orphans. No one's expecting you to do that. Because Islam is based on 5 pillars. 5 pillars. And the first one is Shahada, this declaration of faith. The second one is prayer. The third one is zakat, giving charity to orphans and poor people, the needy. The fourth pillar is fasting during Ramadan. And the 5 is going on a pilgrimage to Mecca just once in your lifetime. But what's expected of you in the beginning is first and foremost to take a Shahada. I haven't told you to stop eating pork, stop drinking alcohol, wear a face veil and cover your head. I haven't asked you to do any of that. Nor has Allah. Allah's asked you to take the first step. And that is just to bear witness that He is your creator. He wants to make it incumbent upon Himself to look after you, to help you. So He just wants you to acknowledge Him. So even if you were to take your Shahada now, you take your time. You learn how to worship now. Because now you've acknowledged Allah, now you learn how to worship Him. You learn how to pray. Why? Because praying is a direct dialogue with your creator. So many other faiths, you got to pray to a guru, you got to pray to a saint. Islam is a very personal faith. It's a very collective faith, but it's also a very personal faith. It's a one-on-one relationship with you, direct to your creator. No one in between. You start structuring your life around Allah. Instead of trying to fit Allah into your life, you start structuring your day around Allah. You start realizing the importance of just getting through one day, let alone planning for a year, and in 10 years time, in 20 years time, you realize the benefits of being able just to get through one day. Just go to a hospital, go to intensive care in a hospital, go to dialysis department, go and see someone in chemotherapy, suffering from cancer. These people are struggling just to get through one day. But there you have people planning 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. College, uni, good job, whatever. Do you think you're even going to live that long? Are you arrogant to even think that you're going to even survive that long? Who knows? No one's saying you don't plan. No one's saying you don't save. Yes. But surely you must know that there's a high percentage of chance that you can die just now. You can die tomorrow, next week. You don't know when it's coming. But what you need to know is, what have you done to prepare? What have you done to plan for that hereafter? Because yes, I'm telling you right now, there is a hereafter. So understanding and complying to the way of life that Allah wants for you is an everyday goal to work towards. No one's perfect. No Muslim is perfect. And we shouldn't judge Islam based on the Muslims that practice it, or you're going to get a wrong understanding of Islam completely. Not all Muslims are good. That's the reality. We judge the faith on who it is calling people to worship. That's what an educated person does. The more we talk about Islam, the more we talk about society, the more we can sit here and come to a common ground. You can iron out the truth. You can iron out the falsehood. But if you're a person who sits on the fence and stays away from either interacting or having dialogue with anyone about anything, you're going to end up being an ignoramus. You're going to end up being a racist. You're going to end up being a conservative minority, judgmental. But if you have knowledge, if you research, if you talk to the people, if you read books, if you watch unbiased news, then you'll become an all-round person that can sit here and categorically make the right decision in terms of what you want to believe. You didn't sit here and say, well, I'm an atheist, I'm an agnostic, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the Creator, but yet you never read the Quran. You never researched what Muslims believe in. You didn't realize that the Quran talks about the hemisphere, the galaxies, the stars, the moon. You didn't realize that the Quran talked about that. You didn't realize the Quran talks about science, the embryo, the fetus. You didn't realize the Quran talked about that. This book, revealed to Muhammad directly from God, you didn't realize it talks about this stuff. But already you made an impartial judgment. No. I'm telling you, put the power back into your hands. Put the knowledge back into your head. And make a judgment based on knowledge. Don't make it based on hearsay. Islam is the religion for thinking people. It encourages people to ask questions. It doesn't shroud itself in mystery. No, Islam encourages people to ask questions. Allah's not a mystery. Allah says He is the one. He says in the Quran, chapter, the purity, He says, Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is God, the one and only. Allahu samad. God, the eternal absolute. Lam yulid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is He begotten. Meaning, He does not give birth, nor is He begotten, nor was He given birth to. Wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. And there is none like unto Him. That's a chapter called Purity of Faith in the Quran. Chapter 112. That's a chapter. I'm not drawing things out of context. I'm reciting to you a whole chapter of the Quran. That quick, that simple. Allah is always there for you. Allah is always watching you. Allah is always just wanting you to take one step to Him. You go walk into Allah, He comes running to you. You take one step towards Him, He becomes closer to you than your jugular vein. Allah's just waiting for you to establish that relationship with Him. And by becoming Muslim, you've done that. Now He is obliged to help you. Now He is obliged to listen to you. But even deeper than that, you now can open up your heart. You now have someone to go to in times of hardship. You have someone to go to